It's a great puzzle to me that music is a bit like Guinness, which reaches parts other beers cannot reach. Not that I drink Guinness, by the way. Well, at least not often. Because I'm playing in B flat minor, but it sounds a bit like this key, only different. Which reminds me of Schubert's Unfinished Symphony, and I expect you picked that up as well. So what I find when I'm improvising, if I think it sounds a bit like something that a lot of people know, I immediately try to disguise it as quickly as possible. Otherwise it will be Schubertian or whoever you're in. Can't play the same tune twice, but a version of that on a little CD I made, some of you will have heard, and that was played on a Clavinova CLP 273, which, don't tell anybody, but it's a lot easier to play than this wondrous piano. There's lots of people I ought to say hello to, some I haven't seen for quite a long time, some I'm very concerned about, and I hope, because I like to express concern somehow, and I hope it'll come out in the music. If there's a delicate, quiet part, I'll be thinking of something that was impossible to cope with for one or two friends earlier in the year, and I'm praying for them still, as are many others. And there's other things going on amongst other friends, and I just pray that they're all okay, and that Christmas won't just be a tinsel, but remembering that something gigantic has happened for us humans here on planet Earth. I know it was gigantic because I've just listened this afternoon to half of Mark's Gospel. If you've never listened to Mark's Gospel being read, let me know. I'd like to send it to you. Here are a few feelings out of this year, and I'll just improvise whatever comes to mind. I hope you hear what you need to hear. I think I can probably make some sounds that have all been used before, but I think any people who make music realise that it's a language which you learn to speak. And of course you also learn to listen, which of course on my wondrous theme means we similarly need to learn to listen to God speaking through the Bible. Sorry, I had to put that one in, but it's so true. He speaks, but what good does it do if we don't listen? I mean, the rhythm there sounds like somebody else's music, but that just happens and you have to put up with a bit of that. The tune I think that sort of came from was my sort of version for something in E flat minor of a tune written in A minor by Schumann. Okay, bit of his piano concerto, but these little tunes, they really get inside you. And so if you're an improviser, it's nice to hear them, and if your fingers can copy them somehow, you feel, oh yeah, okay, but don't let it be too accurate, because otherwise it's not improvising, is it? There was a star. Some people followed the star. They knew they had to offer the best they had. They got there. They saw the Christ child. Something connected with them, I suspect. Was it the dependence they saw in the child? Something truly childlike? Was it a cry? For me, more likely, it was the expression on the face of Mary and Joseph. Had a great time in Holland. Jamming, do they call it? My niece has the gift of making people cry just by talking to them, in the nice way. got a friend who's not very well at the moment, somewhere in the UK. I have another friend who's not very well. I think about those particular friends. I'm not going to mention their names. Prayer apparently works. May not work in quite the way we hope. It's a strange thing. It's about trust. If you're anywhere near a Bible study group that happened in St. Philip's recently, you will have heard me say something. I had a deep feeling that we were being helped as a church. I wonder if you've ever been in a church. I wonder if when you were in there you were helped by something. Maybe somebody says something that connects. Well, I felt something happening inside me which said something great could happen in the church that I go to. I saw a very young little girl on her mother's lap in the lounge next to the church I go to. And she had a lovely smile on her face. And as I thought about how she looked when I got home, 4 words came to mind. And these 4 words, I believe, are a blessing for the church I go to. I've been going to it a long time, churches of various sorts for a long time. The first word was joyful. The next was perceptive. And the next was trusting. And the last one was expectant. Now, I find, I don't know how you tick, but I find that if words like that seem to float down into my head, I think they've been given by Big Dad in heaven. And I know, because I've read a lot about this stuff, that if he does that, he wants us to share it. It could be a blessing for you, even though you don't come to the church I go to, which is getting very good, by the way. And I'm expecting those 4 words to be fulfilled in the near future. We will become a joyful congregation, a perceptive congregation, a trusting one, and an expectant one. I'll see if I can play a bit of joyful, perceptive, trusting and expectant. I haven't a clue how, and I don't even know what key it's going to be in. As likely as not, it will be in D flat, because I'm most at home in that key. No, it seems to be going to be in B flat minor. You have to go with the flow. Well, it drifted back into D flat in the end, and it was unresolved because in life things are often unresolved. I wonder if we can all cope with lack of resolution. One day we shall know, even as we are known. Now we know in part, but then we shall know even as we are known. You only get this stuff if you have welcomed the Spirit of God into your heart, I think. Seems to be the way it works. And that set of words fits it pretty nicely for me. I wonder if it fits it for you. Happy Christmas. Can't play you any Christmas carols because none came to mind. But you'll hear those, you know them probably. Have a really good time and thinking of you. And bye for now. Well, I don't want to do too much.